without further ado,
please welcome Podcast Beyond.
we literally had a meeting about not swearing, and you just come out and the second word out of your mouth.
Are we recording?
Third word.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Beyond.
Beyond!
That feels good.
What a cool noise. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Beyond episode.
It's
in the title.
It's literally 400. It's on T-shirts.
It's on the front of the
only reason
building.
We're here.
Is it on T-shirts? Is there a
I don't
400
know.
T-shirt?
I drew them on markers.
It's
All right,
your own.
well, thank you all for coming. This is Beyond 400. I'm Max Scoville. This is Brian Altano. This is Andrew Goldfarb. And Marty Sleva.
Wow, you're
I'm
really
suing
good at rolling
you.
your R's.
He doesn't have that kind of money. I absolutely don't.
So, how's it going?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming. This is really cool. Like, this is super exciting. It's weird. We usually kind of shout into a void once a week. We get in a small room. It's kind of stuffy. It feels like where you'd meet with a guidance counselor. Like you might hear that your parents are getting divorced in that room. They point a camera at us.
Jesus Christ!
It's not like
what
that.
it's like.
It's more fun than that.
Did your parents get divorced at your high school?
I'll get back to you on that one. But you know, we do this thing once a week, and we have a fun time doing it because we get to hang out and talk about video games, and that's really cool. And then you guys listen to it, and that's kind of the best part. But we don't get to ever see that, so we get to see you guys right now, and that's really fun. So thank you for coming. Round of applause for you guys.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. And I mean, we're gonna get into the jokes and the japes and everything, but once again, we cannot stress that this event would not be possible without a couple of folks. Kirsten Slater. Woo! Kirsten, you are the best thing to happen to IGN in quite a while.
Oh my God.
Sully, you have unlimited patience. We're probably gonna say terrible things, and I apologize. Alexio up there, seriously, thank you guys so much. Yeah.
Alexio is also the guy who bleeps out the swear word with cat noises
Yep.
every week. That was his decision.
Yeah, that's his entire job. Seriously. There's hope for any of you.
Podcast Beyond is edited in Mario Paint.
No, but seriously, thank you all for coming out. This is like, first of all, this room is the exact opposite of the IGN comment section. Because no, there's great people there too. But
You
this
guys
is
aren't filming, right?
Are we filming this?
No.
Oh, they're gonna hear this.
There are literally multiple cameras. Yeah.
Well, they don't actually listen to the episodes. They just comment on the headlines. So
Are there any hiding places?
disagree with that statement that you posed at the top of this article.
But we thought about the show and we said, it's the anniversary of a show that we kind of just inherited recently. So that's weird, right? Because it's like a lot of people probably don't want us to be here. They want the old guys to be here. But we did it. Hey, be nice. But we're gonna
Literally, they just said we love us. Yeah.
Oh.
Brian's been hurt before.
Brian Altano is not used to compliments.
That's right. I've never heard anyone say anything nice to me. It's a weird feeling. New York. But we wanted to do something that was really more about you guys and the fact that you've been here for so long, and that it's so easy to overlook that where we are. Like Max said, that room where his parents got divorced. You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song.
What it looks like. I didn't say that. There's like board games in the background. There's a really smelly
Why do
carpet.
I feel like this has become a new thing on the podcast? Following News Ghost and speaking of Italy is the room Max's parents got divorced
That's
in.
right. So really, ultimately, this is about everybody. I met people that came from all over the place, all over the country, all over the world. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. We are four very quiet, awkward nerd people So this is totally fucking weird to us. Like, we're not supposed to be here. Like, there's an alternate dimension version of us that's like strong and cool, but we're up here. So deal with it, and let's do Podcast Beyond episode 400.
Woo!
What was the first thing we were going to do? Because we were going to print it out. But
I like that you're looking at this, which
Just
says
like
Kim
usual,
Kardashian.
no
Okay,
plan
this is
whatsoever.
Literally, okay, so this is something that was left here by somebody else doing a probably equally exciting podcast. The first bullet point, doing hair 9 years. Second bullet point, celebrities, Kardashians, Miranda Kerr, Kate Walsh, Nicole Richie, Mila Kunis. Third bullet point, Britney Circus Tour.
Wow,
And
that's-
it keeps going. I think it's about hair
We
products.
don't know
but
what
I'm
this
not
was.
sure.
We
It's all
found
run
this when
show.
Andrew was fanning himself because he was sweating during
I'm a sweaty
rehearsals.
man. Yep.
Yeah.
I do like that they separated Kardashians and celebrities with a comma.
They also have dialed up
Insects,
and dialed down as separate
arachnids.
sections.
Yeah. But Andrew, you were sweating, and that's because
I'm often
you left us for a while.
That's right.
You left us to
did.
the barren wasteland called Texas.
I did. I was gone. Well, I left you for real. I left for 14 months. I was in Plano, Texas at Gearbox for a while. And I started again. Yeah, Gearbox. And then I started again like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, after E3, I flew down to Texas and just got back last night.
Yeah.
That's right.
And yesterday, I was thrown up on at the airport.
So,
All right. Are you gonna go?
Can we-
Are there details?
Is that a sex thing?
they don't do that in Texas.
It was an infant, also.
So yeah, like we got you on a conference call.
Oh!
We got you
What's
on a conference
wrong with
call,
you?
And we're like, let's talk about the run of the show. Like, here's the stuff we got planned. And clearly, that conference call didn't really go too far. You're like, I'm just about to go meet the man of the Lord of the Lands or something.
And I
then-
need
had
to
go the
vacuum.
office.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very exciting. It was emptying my apartment and getting yelled at and still being sweaty.
Yep.
Because it was like 99 degrees. It was a good day. It was a good
So-
good Texas adventure.
So since we've gone 9 minutes without mentioning a video game so far,
Yeah, exactly.
can you paint a picture for the crowd, no pun intended, of when the baby threw up on you? Can you tell us about that?
I sat down at the gate and it was like this. You're a lady with a baby, and there's a baby leaning
I'm a
right
lady
here.
with a
Oh,
baby.
improv.
Cosplay.
This is very exciting.
And so I sat down, I was scrolling through my phone, and then I felt something wet on my shoulder. And it was a lot of baby vomit. And then it was also dripping down the seat.
What's a lot, like a cup?
Yeah, probably like that much.
How much vomit can you fit in a baby?
Available in the
show here
Apple
on
and
Podcast
Amazon
Beyond.
store right now.
So I love that that's like the end of Aliens or something. Like,
Yeah,
like
right.
you're like I'm moving out of Texas. I'm going back home to my friends, and then you got thrown up on. What did you have to do after that?
I had to go buy a Texas shirt at the gift shop.
So like
And
you just posted the saddest picture on Instagram last night of you just wearing like a Texan flag shirt, and you're like, well,
But he also, he was him wearing the shirt, and he wore it in a mirror, and he texted it back to us, and he's like, I had to buy this Texas shirt. And I was like, it looks like it says Saxit. So no, not all the jokes are funny. A lot of them are really bad.
It was also weird because you landed here, you dropped your things off in my apartment.
Yep, came straight here.
Came straight here to help set up, and you were still wearing the Texas shirt. Like, you had ample time to change. I don't know how that happened.
So after I don't want to spoil a surprise, but after we heard the story yesterday, we went on Amazon and we bought you a new shirt.
Yep.
And it's the shirt that Charlie Brown wears.
And that is not a
That's
joke.
right.
Because
Justin
you're a
Davis
disaster.
Purchased it immediately because you are a disaster.
I'll wear that next episode.
Try not to get it thrown up on. All right.
Video games.
Thanks
though.
for coming.
Yeah. Hope you had fun.
great to have you. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
No, this is the world's #1 PlayStation podcast.
Yeah.
So we should
God
talk
knows
about
why.
I don't, so we should talk about some PlayStation stuff.
yeah. Let's
Is there a number 2 that's out to kill us?
Is it
Yeah.
like a POC to our biggie?
Bring it.
As you hear a pop, you just fall down. I think the first topic we want to talk about is like, all right, we're just past the halfway point in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a lot of great games at E3. We played a lot of amazing games beforehand. What's our favorite thing we've played so far this year? Like, what is our, But I mean,
Spoilers.
we're gonna get there. We're gonna
All right.
get there.
You up here on the table, raise your hand. You guys can do this. You can play along at home or in the audience, whichever. Raise your hand if Bloodborne is your favorite game so far this year.
Not a lot, man. This is
Where is the rest of that?
Yeah, I was really, they were with us and then Batman happened and they're like, oh, I feel bad for him, his parents are dead. Gotta vote for an orphan.
Classic sympathy vote.
Right?
Yeah. No, Bloodborne is in terms of like big exclusives, I think is the only thing this year that has hit on all levels for
Yep,
me. Like the
me
order
too.
came out and I'm like, you're super pretty. That dude's got like weird mutton chops like Sully, but that game is boring. That was a real boring game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was short, so you couldn't be bored too long.
But then Bradburn came out and everything
Yeah.
changed.
Bradburn.
Yeah, Bradburn was your first. That was your first FromSoft game, right?
So you know how
Yeah.
there's coal miners will have canaries in the mines with them, and if the canary dies, they're like, there's a gas leak in here. They haven't figured out a version of that for video game people, but we do this thing where we all just mispronounce the titles of games, and it becomes like this kind of weird, like we make up code names after the fact, and Bloodborne is Bradburn.
I don't know why Bradburn. Yeah, Last Guardian's Bird Dog.
So my favorite thing was
They're not very clever code names, though.
you did that elaborate setup, and you're like, you know how canaries have coal mines or whatever, and I looked around the room and like 7 people were like nodding their head.
Yeah. Everyone from
I know
North
where he's going with
Carolina was
this.
like, I have killed a bird inside
Like it's
of a coal
it's
mine.
a warning sign that something's so horribly awry, but they haven't figured out that warning sign yet, so we're all just kind of walking around with holes in our brains, being like, yeah,
We called it rug burn
Murder
for a while.
learns.
Rugburn.
Yeah, the running theme tonight is that we are idiots. Just huge
That's
idiots.
generally the running theme.
Yeah, every night. But no, really, it was the one game that made me feel like I was becoming better while playing it, rather than like I'm just watching a percentage number tick up. Like I'm playing Batman now, and it's fun, but it's also like I'm getting through it, and at no point am I like, man, this is really teaching me a lot about how awesome I am at video games.
Well,
I'm
you
sort
feel
of
less
just-
like you're earning it in games like
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah,
Like,
totally.
With roguelikes in general and with anything, it's like you fail enough that when you succeed, it means something, and you feel like you're like making progress. And I think that's why it's like it's a feeling that's like hard to get from a game where you're just like unlocking things
Right.
or like going in like a linear progression.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm really proud that you clung to that, just because, I mean, I've been a huge fan of FromSoft since Dark Souls 1, I love Dark Souls 2, and then Bloodborne was one of those very obvious things that I was going to adore, and I do, but I just didn't, like, it makes sense with you because you come from that old school 8-bit, like, tough as nails mentality.
I thought you were going to say you come from the old country of Italy where things were hard. Your parents came here on a boat with a suitcase.
Every time you kill a monster in Bloodborne, so a nice sauce comes out.
That's right. No, coming from an Italian family is like Bloodborne in real life.
Isn't one of the bosses just like a nun with a ruler who comes out? And,
Speaking of Italy,
Oh, God.
we never actually go anywhere with that. I don't know enough about Italy to like speak of Italy and that's it.
Yeah, that's our secret. We don't.
Yep.
Mussolini, Fellini.
Don't talk about, what do you, of all the characters you could have named.
Fellini was an incredible director.
Oh, I thought he was a
Mussolini,
murderer.
not so much.
Mussolini, not so much.
He directed Murder.
Jesus.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, Max. What have you loved this year?
Witcher 3. See?
Man.
They show a boob in that game.
They show.
There's only one boob in Bloodborne, and it's scary, probably. It turns into
boss.
a dog and bites you in the leg.
It's a boss. It turns into a deer and then kills you.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's weird because I love The Witcher 3. I love it so much. It's totally scratching that Skyrim itch where it's just like, I'm going to get lost in a world. I'm going to go out and there's going to be a guy who's peeing in a river and there's some kid who's looking for coins or something and they're going to shout stuff at me and then I'm going to cut a guy's head off. And there's going to be maybe a dragon. I don't know. Maybe I'll find a castle. I'd explore it.
I want to see all those things on the box.
But weird bullet points. The last one is, I don't know. I will explore it.
Just the guy
Kid
who
might pee in a river.
that'd be a good Tumblr is like, here's video game like box descriptions written by people on nitrous and they're just like first there's a castle but then there's also a man. Is there a lighthouse? There's always a lighthouse. The end.
Farm, that was about
Bloodborne
Bioshock.
would be like, what the
that
fuck? It'd just be all A's on the back of the box.
They just discover the Wingdings font like halfway through. Bomb skull, upper arrow. I don't. No, I love The Witcher because it's. I've talked about this with the lovely Jared Petty, who's creeping around. There he is, right there.
Woo!
He's literally
Too
not
distracted
noticing
talking
you
to Brian.
applauding him.
Jared's
No,
not even
not
paying
yet,
attention.
not yet. Go back. Go back
We're
to your
saying
chair.
hi.
Go back. No, not yet, Jared. Not yet. Jared.
Go back to your
Bad
No,
Jared.
Jared, not yet. Wait. You know what's the best thing is that Jared is absolutely coming out during the show, and we haven't planned, but it's later. And Jared is just the sweetest, nicest man, and we just yelled at him.
Go back in there. Go back.
Jared.
Go back. Yeah, so I was saying he compared it to the leap between like original Mario Brothers, where it's like basically a very straight Donkey Kong level, and Super Mario Brothers, where there's like a world to explore, you know. And like if you play The Witcher 2, the leap from that to The Witcher 3 is terrifying. It's incredible that a company could just be like, okay, let's change exactly everything about how we make games.
Yep.
But still kind of keep it grounded in the same universe. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah. It's sort of that. As much as I appreciate that in game design, it terrifies me as a human being. I feel like when you step outside, like I don't know, how many of you are here from a city that is not San Francisco?
Oh.
How many of you are here from a city that you would consider small? Okay, perfect.
That's the opposite of being like, yo, where Brooklyn at? Who here is not from Brooklyn?
There's a lot of people from Brooklyn.
I'm going
here.
somewhere with this.
That's impressive.
What are you
There's
doing?
so many people from Brooklyn here. That's like half
There are a lot of people from Brooklyn here. I met a ton of you. There we go.
Is that Biggie? Is Biggie alive?
What?
No, but it's sort of like when you step outside in a city as big as San Francisco, any major metropolitan area, you are inundated with noise and with choices and with decisions and with consequences. And I'm sort of terrified by that in a video game. I think I gravitate closer to smaller railroaded experiences, as much as I appreciate the like freedom of like a Minecraft or Skyrim or Fallout or that. Yeah, I don't know. I need a journey. Like Journey is a thing that's perfect for me because I'm like, I've never been to a desert. I've never been to a desert.
Are you allergic to deserts? You're allergic to cacti
I'm
and
allergic
sand?
to deserts and scorpions. I have a cardigan that looks like Journeyman's robe.
Scorpions.
Scorpions, and it's like 3 hours and I'm
Scorpion!
done. Scorpion! Yeah.
That was the first
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat announcer who got fired.
I think it's interesting with open world games in general because they always have that problem, right? It's like with GTA, I never played the story stuff.
Boo! You cut off. Sam Hauser just came in and cut your mic off.
Hey, yeah, I was just saying I, in general, don't necessarily play a lot of the story stuff. You get distracted by all the other stuff there is to do. And I feel like that's a problem with open world games. That's all I was trying to say.
I think it's back. I think your mic's back.
So many microphones. It's terrible.
You didn't get that in Texas.
So Max,
Guys, microphone. You all went to the conclusion. I didn't go there.
Max, I wanted to love The Witcher, but I feel like you broke it for me because I did a Let's Play with you at IGN, which is what happens is when people play a video game together on camera. For those of you who are new, and we played with PC mods on, and we made bears appear from the sky.
Yeah.
And we lit all these wolves and stuff on fire.
It's worth mentioning. Like mods are kind of the new cheats, you know.
Yeah.
And like if you play Doom with like infinite ammo and God mode on, you're like like maybe you have to find a key, but like you just kind of just go through the game and there's no really resistance there.
Right.
We sort of did a different thing where like you play The Witcher, you get like this incredible story and there's moral ambiguity. But you play with mods on, you're like, what if 25 bears just showed up on this roof with Geralt? And what if there were chickens there too? Oh no, more geese. There's too many geese. There's geese everywhere, and he sets them on fire.
Did we spawned all those dogs underwater?
And then Griffin, yeah, we spawned a river full of dogs.
And then it's like I go back home to play the real game, and it's like this is so boring.
I feel like your Let's Play was just like the Voight comp test. You all failed. You're both replicants.
It might not have been a Let's Play. I think Max and I rented a cabin and got drunk for a weekend. So that's your game of the year?
Yeah, I mean, so far. But that's the thing, is that like I haven't finished The Witcher yet because that's a massive, massive game made by cruel Polish people.
Nastarovia.
And there's also going to be the Phantom Pain. There's also going to be Fallout 4, and there's. Yeah, like, this is gonna be this is great. This is a weird like dilemma to have. Is like this is a first year in a while that we've had a hard time figuring out what our game of the year is. Like we're halfway through and there's already kind of what do we do?
Yeah.
Last year was kind of like I'll vote for the one that I kind of like the most. You know, like. Like my game of the year last year was Marvel Superheroes because I got drunk and bought it on PSN. You know?
Solid choice. If I voted my game of the year based on something I played while drunk,
It would be
y'all get
Banjo-Kazooie
it.
every year.
Every game is game of the year.
Dino Crisis 3.
Yeah. Goldfarb, what's your game of the year so far?
It's weird, right? I'm gonna twist the question a little bit. For me, I travel so much that it's like honestly for me like my Vita. I might be the only person who says this, but like my Vita is like all I play, right? And so while traveling, it's nice that like I've been able to play like The Order. I've been able to play like catch up on Shadow of Mordor and just play smaller indie games. And so like weirdly, right now my answer is Vita, which obviously isn't a game, but it's like I'm playing.
No, that's not a
Broken
game
Age
at
right
all.
now. I don't know, like because I haven't started Witcher yet.
Do you just rearrange the icons?
My console's been deboxed for.
Is it like the dumbest version of Bejeweled
Your
ever? where
game
you're
of the
like,
year
it's like
is
Candy Crush.
Nier.
but-
Yeah.
It's your game of the Nier.
Yeah, Nier actually is my game of the year.
Okay, like real talk. Does anyone understand Nier?
No.
No, nobody does. No, even Sony doesn't. This guy says he does.
Do you understand Nier? Can you walk up this and in 15 seconds make sure everyone in this audience understands what Nier is? Walk up these stairs right now. What's your name?
Podcast Beyond exclusive. World Star.
My name is Eric Pena. So basically, Nier is this game where humanity gets destroyed.
Wait, no!
No.
I am not
Nier.
talking about Nier.
Not N-I-E-R. He means
Damn
the
it.
Vita app. N-E-A-R, like the Vita app. Nier. It's like Vita Street Pass or something.
No, you have no idea, do you?
No, nobody understands that app. Nobody plays the Vita.
We were so close.
For a second, I was like, wow, it's so much deeper than I thought it was.
Nier is kind of like if Yelp starved to death, right? What now? Let me pull up the dumb itinerary.
Game of the year has been not decided. Now next on Podcast
Goldfarb,
Beyond.
your game of the year was a friggin' handheld.
I travel
When
a
you
lot.
think about it, isn't the Vita a game? You buy it, you
Life's
don't know
just
what's
a
going to
game.
happen. Do you die at the end? Does it die?
Man,
How many lives does it have?
did Broken Age come out in 2015?
Broken Age
on
Act
Vita?
2 came out this year.
All right, well, Broken Age Act 2 so far.
I love Broken Age Act 2 as well. I will
thank
approve
you.
of that answer.
Thank you for saving me from this hole.
You're a nice guy. So the thing we wanted to pivot into after this, so this is what we've loved so far in 2015, but what is the single thing we are looking forward to most in 2015 and beyond? I did it. That was exciting. That was real exciting.
Because as we learned in 2014, the games that come out in the year that they say they are don't necessarily do that.
Right.
Well, and this is the first fall where there's so much. Like, this is the first year where that question is actually kind of hard to answer because there's so many
Yeah,
games.
but I mean, even fault like I was mentioning on Unlocked, the Sony conference at E3 was not about 2015.
Right.
It was about 2016, 2017. Honestly, for stuff like Shenmue and Final Fantasy, 2018, 2019.
Yeah. Final Fantasy
yeah.
especially.
Sorry to break all of your hearts. We're not going to be playing those for a long time.
Well, I mean, we talked to Shuhei at E3 and asked that question about the fall lineup, and his thing was that, like, it's actually because there's so many big third-party games, like, they don't want to put the time into having first-party games, like, rushed for the fall because there's so many things to play on PS4 anyway.
Totally.
It's like, if you're going to play Battlefront and Fallout and all these other things, like, you don't necessarily need
Yeah,
all the
and
first-party
as
games.
you saw in the Sony conference, they like gained the sort of eye of Sauron looking at Black Ops 3, and they got that from Microsoft for the first time in 6 years, 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Which is huge. I mean, not like I don't know. We don't play a ton of Call of Duty, but do a lot of you play Call of Duty in the audience? Literally, one of you is the biggest Call of Duty. Scott Lowe is in the audience right now.
No, because to me, more fun than playing Call of Duty was reading the tweets from angry Xbox Call of Duty fans who were like, why'd you go to PlayStation? Like, it's not your friend, it's just a company. They just want money.
And the game is still coming to Xbox.
The game's
Yeah,
coming
it's
to
still
everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
Well,
gonna
not
have
for
one
you.
less map, or Ray Liotta won't be in it in the DLC when they do the zombie stuff. Like, it's not a big deal.
Also, Ray Liotta's been phoning it in for the last 27 years, so it's fine. Yeah, the game you're anticipating most.
Last Guardian.
Boom.
Bird dog
Didn't you ask about 2050?
Bad dog.
Bird dog.
Bad dog. I
Bad
noticed
dog.
that people were kind of hesitant in the crowd, and I don't blame you, because like I think we still really don't believe that it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, I really.
Exactly.
I was surprised.
I have no idea what you said.
Straight outta Compton.
I think you were calling the Last Guardian, you're like, bad dog.
I'm surprised they didn't do an actual date because it has been so long that it's like putting a year on it and having it any degree of ambiguity.
Right.
It's like I still kind of don't believe them.
Yeah, me too.
I
Me
honestly
too.
think we'll get a date at TGS.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
You think you're gonna get a date at TGS?
I'm gonna get a date at
Oh,
TGS.
Marty thinks he's so cool.
I'm not even going to TGS. What is that? They're gonna like
Marty, that's a business trip. You keep your love
inappropriate.
life out of this.
That's messed up.
Damn it. Already canceled.
His date or the Last Guardian?
The last Martian. So I'm kind of weird and torn about this. Fallout 4, I think they did the most brilliant thing by actually announcing just a hard date. They were like, hey, game's coming out this year. Boom. Also, there's a game you can get today. And they were like, that was kind of like a down payment on that game by being like, Fallout Shelter, whip out your phone, download this game that we are announcing now. That's nuts. And I think that they get that when you do something like, I don't know, other studios that announce games like Watch Dogs, where they're like, hey, here's a game that's going to come out real soon.
Right.
Real soon, any minute now. No, swear to God, it's going to be, okay, 6 months from now. Okay, it's been 2 years since we announced it. It's coming out this week. Hello?
It's
know.
12 years and dog years.
Yeah.
Watch dog years.
But like Fallout, like we've been waiting for it for ages, and we've been like, give us Fallout, and they're like, okay, you get it in like 5 months,
Yeah, it was genius.
and like, that's awesome. That's great
Yeah,
because
that's incredible.
You will not be sick of hearing about it by the time it's out. That's really a big deal. On the flip side, I have an actual house that I have a hard time keeping clean and full, like devoid of debris.
And radiation.
I'm going to be playing a game where I have to rearrange furniture and make it a nicer place to live.
Oh,
But
so
it's-
your favorite game is Old Man 2016.
no. I'm looking forward to Fallout because obviously it's Fallout. But
Right.
like at the same time, they were like, it just keeps going. It was this clown car of features they showed off at E3 where they're like, yeah, you can buy a house, you can have your friends come over, you can make a giant Minecraft Vault Boy out of 8-bit pixel squares or whatever.
Your
you
dog
do
can eat a
there.
rat.
Your dog can do crack. Like they haven't addressed that, but come on, it's Fallout. You can eat apples out of a toilet.
You know, Todd Howard wanted to say that during the Bethesda conference.
Like you're gonna point, you're gonna be like, dog, go to the jet. Go do 25 jets, dog. And the dog's gonna be like running around like super speed. It's gonna be great.
Can your dog get addicted to drugs in that game like you can?
Yes. If you can't,
Don't
Game of
say
the
that.
year.
That is not confirmed.
that's not confirmed.
That's
but come
not
on.
confirmed. Mitch news it up.
Ain't no rules. Says a dog can't get addicted to drugs.
For me,
Is that like, what was that, like a weird Air Bud sequel?
That was an Air Bud line. That was the later Air Bud where it gets real serious. It was like Darren Aronofsky's Air Bud.
And all the kids quit the team because they're sick of being
Air Bud.
upstaged by a dog. Sorry, Max and I love animals. We talk about them a lot.
How do you feel about horses?
Let's get a round of applause for horses.
Animal of the year.
I like how
Horses
everyone
are
looks
great
at you.
because you can also ride them, which you can't do with any other animal legally.
Legally?
True. Try riding a dog and not falling off and looking like a fool. So we have the next 45 minutes is basically just about horses. I'm just kidding. No,
We're sure to be horses.
there's not
by the
enough
end of
booze
it.
at the bar for that.
I also like that 5 people yelled out elephant from the back. Like the elephant fans are like, what the fuck, Brian?
Oh yeah, you can ride an elephant. You can ride an elephant, but he does not want you there. Okay? And a camel's like, I know there's a seat. Doesn't mean you need to use it.
You're an idiot.
Going far. So for me, far and away, Persona 5 is the thing I'm most excited about. Those games are just really special, and it's like man, those trailers, like a new one leaked this week. Yeah, that guy pointing his Persona 4 shirt. This is for you. Yeah, the trailer, a new trailer leaked out this week. It just seems like you can do so much in that game, and it's that like cliche thing of like, oh, it's next gen or whatever, but it is. Like it finally looks really good. It looks like it's in the Catherine engine. Like everything.
It's on
looks
PS3.
Like, well, that's true. It's also on PS3, but it just seems. It's not just that like limited like top-down perspective, right? You're in closer to the characters, and it seems like there's like a lot more to it. And I don't know. I like meeting the new cast and like discovering new social links and like.
And one of them's like a weird circle bear.
Yeah, there's like
some
what's
sort
like a
of-
cat transformation.
Isn't it a cat?
Is it a?
It's a female cat.
Max, I'm allergic to animals, so I don't spend a ton of time with them. So I'm very confused.
After
by what
all
certain
the
ones-
shit you gave me for not being able to identify dinosaurs, you can't identify a cat versus a bear.
Yeah, I get cut off when I talk about animals, but you guys can do it all day. Great. Real
Anyway,
fair.
yeah,
We're
Persona 5
bullying
for sure.
Marty. It's different.
I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna name 3 games, but I'm gonna go through them quick.
That's really
One of
good.
them's the Vita.
One of them's not a Vita because that's not a game. You're an idiot. On indie tier, the thing I'm looking forward to most is Firewatch. It's the first game by Campo Santo, who's a sort of indie supergroup by folks from who made season 1 of Telltale's The Walking Dead. They've worked at Double Fine. They worked on Mark of the Ninja. It's this amazing first-person wandering game. It's super gorgeous. Ollie Moss.
So I've heard rumors that there are raccoons in that game.
Give it up for raccoons.
Yeah. Nature's animals.
They're cats that steal things.
We really do talk about animals a lot. We keep
Also,
falling into it.
were we not able to get sponsored by like PETA or something? Or
Well,
Because
there's
they're
a-
also
there's a-
really mean to animals.
a lot of people just booed PETA. Ooh,
There were those elephant fans in the back.
So that's one of them. Super stoked for that. It's coming to PS4, which is super exciting. They're on stage. Sean Vanimo's on stage. Above that, in terms of the obvious one, Uncharted 4.
Woo! Nate, no! Nate, no!
It's really weird. Like that corner right there did not care about Uncharted 4 at all. The front row is good.
Was that
but
a
the back
hawk?
corner?
That was a,
weird,
I heard
yeah.
a hawk.
So what they showed at, well, I've really sort of liked the fact that the 2 times they've showed it during shows, the game's broken for a little bit. Like I find
I
that
do
really
like that, though.
endearing,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
know.
like it's kind of real. It's
Yeah,
like
you know it's real.
you're not can. This isn't staged. This isn't canned. But the demo that was shown at the Sony conference at E3 was phenomenal. Like it was gorgeous. The action was amazing. The pacing was incredible. But what they showed behind closed doors, which I think don't quote me on this, but I think on July 1st they're releasing the BCD footage, which is I know Andrew and I saw it, and it picks up right where the demo left off, and it's like 15 minutes of just ramping up the action.
Isn't it just like a montage where Nate like jumps on a Jeep and then he realizes the Jeep is sentient and it's like this like kind of like the rest of their lives spent together where he like marries the Jeep and they get old together
I kind of like
and
the
then he
idea
has to
of
push
that.
it into a lake at the
Yeah.
end because it's old. But
And then that's where Sleep Cheap begins.
yeah,
Do you guys think Sully is gonna die?
So you all
Of
think
natural
no.
causes.
You all think no, but
yo, so you're going the Thief's End like death route? You think we're gonna see Nate's ass?
all right. You're the second idiot on the show.
I don't think Sully will die. I think his brother will very obviously die.
Sam, I think his brother's gonna be the bad dude. Troy Baker's gonna be
Yeah.
a bad dude.
That would be really similar. Oh, I would be bummed if he's a bad guy.
Maybe
That
I'll be
seems
a-
too obvious.
What if Nate's the bad guy?
Maybe Nate is the bad guy.
Yeah, that's deep. Third game, and that's actually this is like a talking point you need to hit. This is good. Wait for it. There's a game coming out that is called No Man's Sky. And we've seen this for a year and a half or so, and we've seen these glimpses. And Sean Murray, who's one of the most like amazing people to speak to on a human level, has talked about this game that it is sort of worlds upon worlds. It is infinite. It is what we all dreamed about when we were kids of wanting to explore the wild blue yonder in space. And I'm super stoked to be able to announce that. Because of Ryan McCaffrey, who I hope is still here, but who might not have to. He might not be here because he had to
He's
leave.
not with us anymore. One love.
He's not- he
Give
didn't
it up,
pass
Ryan
away.
McCaffrey.
He just had prior
He's
obligations.
still with us in spirit.
Our IGN first for July is No Man's Sky. And I want to tell you that the stuff we were able to see, Mitch was with me actually. We saw it during E3, was absolutely phenomenal, and it was one of those things like I went in being like, I don't know what this is, and I sort of don't trust this game. And very quickly, I looked over to Mitch and I was like, holy shit, this is it. Like, I get it now. And all through July, you're going to realize why we said that. And it's going to be just amazing, just footage, unveiling new systems, showing how deep that world is. Like a huge chunk of extended gameplay, conversations with them, what their inspirations were. Like, trust me, July is going to be incredible. This game is sort of everything they hyped up, which is
really
impossible. Yeah, seriously, dude. Wow. And I don't say that lightly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I say this lightly, but I do believe in you. I shouldn't.
I mean,
all signs point in the opposite direction, but I
Yeah.
actually do believe you on this one.
I mean,
You're a liar.
Andrew,
You're a drunk.
Andrew has slept in my room last night, and he realizes what a disaster my life is.
It's pretty bad. It's a lot of piles of Super Nintendo games and cardigans and just full beer cans everywhere.
Yep. That's pretty much exactly what
I was going to ask
all
about
thought.
No Man's Sky, not Marty's room, but that works too.
I mean, that's
Or
what
IGN first for August is Marty's room.
I mean, so that's what, I guess I'll just spoil it. There's a big secret at the center of the universe in No Man's Sky, and when you get there, you realize that it's my room. It's just a live periscope of my room. Yeah.
I am excited to see, like, because I didn't go on that like trip with you. Like, I am very interested to see more like real gameplay. Because the Sony conference is the closest we've come. But like the moment to moment, like what I'm going to be doing for hundreds of hours in that game, like that's very exciting.
Yep. No, you're going to get a lot of that. Tune it. Keep it locked. What's up, everybody?
Are you breaking? You're just saying catchphrases now.
Guys, I'm the only one who's been on stage this entire fucking time.
Well, don't be on
really-
two podcasts, you traitor.
Don't clap the traitor comment.
Don't clap for a guy that does more podcasts than Marty. All right, what's next?
We have a special thing to show off, don't we?
Yeah, well, we have a couple things going on. We're about to hit a rapid fire string of special things.
Okay. Can we actually get the first special? Peter?
Wait, I don't know if we're on the same page.
It doesn't seem like you are.
Peter?
Guys.
Peter? Where's the goat? There you go.
Oh, this is a good first special thing. Man, we did not discuss this before.
You're allergic to discussions.
This is
I don't care.
All right, for those listening at home, a man in a Yankee Dong shirt just brought a piece of wood with a severed head covered in a sheet and a hat.
Peter, explain your science project to us.
What are we seeing?
Okay, it's the news ghost. I mean, it's per your description, Brian.
Yeah.
It is a sheet, newsboy cap.
Is that Walt Disney's head?
You have to look underneath to find out.
I don't want to look under. Really?
I'm very
That's
scared to
actually
look under it.
terrifying.
Is this going to electrify me?
Don't lift it up. There's nothing under there.
He said to look under the. He literally just said look under the sheet. Push the. You want to? What am I? Oh God.
Brian just saw the inside.
The news ghost.
Well, that
is
was
a
like the
cyborg.
suitcase from Pulp Fiction.
There are buttons on this device.
There's a speaker module. It has 5 different sounds right now.
What do you do with this thing when you're not here today? Is this in your house?
I made this Thursday night,
Okay.
so it
Like
was-
like all good things that kill people with electricity.
So yeah,
So you made a news ghost.
Push the buttons.
I don't want to touch it. I'm really afraid of it. I'm buying time.
speaker's not super loud, but we can try.
We got a microphone.
Is there a Halloween sound CD in there?
It's clips from the podcast.
Oh, God.
Of the news ghost.
Now I really feel bad.
Let's give it up for Peter for making it an actual
Wow.
news ghost.
Peter,
Thank you
we
so much.
adore you. That is so incredible.
This is what happens when a bad joke comes to life. This is amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is for you guys.
Oh, great.
Peter, I am not kidding when I say that is going to be on the table for literally every episode of Podcast Beyond until one of us dies of scoliosis of the livers. Wait, did you get your mic cut? What happened?
They cut us. Oh no.
Oh!
we're good.
I'm just really glad you enjoyed it because I've been thinking about it for a while and it came together so last minute. And I literally took that through the airport and people were looking at me weird. Oh my God. So hopefully it was worth it.
Peter, you are my
Thank you so
absolute
much.
favorite.
Give it
I
up
love
for
you,
Peter.
Give it up for Peter!
Thank you so much.
Also, just in a slight bit of foreshadowing, there might be more News Ghost.
No one knows who the news ghost really is.
Yeah. Well, wait, we're not there yet.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
I want to give a quick shout out to the TSA for being terrible at their job and letting this thing through security. Hey, what's that? Oh, it's a severed head that makes sound effects. Yeah, sure, come on in.
Yeah.
Is it covered in weird wires and buttons? Yeah, come on.
I love that so much. But no, this is Podcast Beyond episode 400.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I know, it's super crazy. I don't know, have a lot of you listened since 300?
Yeah.
Have a lot of you listened since 200? Okay, so that's where I should end it because we don't have anything past there. But have a lot of you listened since 100?
Wow.
What about episode 1? All right, I'm glad it fell off.
Anybody born in the 1920s? Liars.
But let's start with episode 200. Andrew,
I was
tell
there.
us a little bit about that.
So I went to episode 200 as a fan. I flew in from New York, and that was when it was Greg, Colin, and Clements. And yeah, that was
Yeah, those are nice human beings.
Give it up
We
to
love.
those guys.
especially Clements.
Yeah, especially Clements.
But yeah, it was really cool. Like I went to that purely as an IGN fan. Got very drunk at Eddie Rickenbacher's with a lot of fellow IGN fans and some IGN people. And then the next morning, very hungover, had my first job interview with Colin Campbell, and then eventually came here. But it was cool. That event was kind of the first time I felt like part of this community. And it's like what you guys were saying earlier, like seeing people in person is a really important part of understanding that, like, yeah, this doesn't go out into a void. This does go out to all of you guys. And it's cool. And actually, if Miranda wants to come down, Miranda.
Oh,
Give it up
She
for
came down
Miranda
super quick.
Sanchez.
So Miranda was at Podcast Beyond 300 as a
Yeah,
fan, and
was.
now also works for IGN.
Yeah, so kind of carrying on the tradition. I get to be on beyond every 100 episodes, so, you know.
Yeah, it's cool though, right? Like it's
Yeah.
it's exciting because like so many people, like whenever we meet a lot of you guys, like one of the first questions is like about working at IGN. It's about like doing this full time, and it's cool because like coming to events like these and meeting you guys, like, you know, we get to kind of tell our stories, and so I think like yours is another really interesting one because you started at an event like this.
Yeah, so I was a big fan of Beyond, like everybody else, you know, and I heard that they were having, you know, Beyond 300. I was like, I have to go. So I grabbed my friends and we're like, are we going to do this? Are we going to go? I mean, I was in college, kind of poor, you know, ramen, yay. And so, yay anime! Yeah. So we saved up a bunch of money and we got tickets to come out to Beyond 300. I met a bunch of friends and it was just like a really amazing experience. I mean, you probably know, you've probably met tons of people here that you're now going to be best friends with. I started a podcast with a few of my lady friends from Beyond 300. And it was just a magical experience getting to meet not only, of course, the IGN guys, but just other fans. And one of my goals, of course, end goal, like since like 5th grade, was to be in games journalism. Like I always loved games, always loved writing. And so I was like, hey, this is a good opportunity, you know? To be a person and to meet these people who I really admire. And kind of from there, I just worked really hard to be part of this community and be a bigger part. I was like a Facebook Podcast Unlocked admin for a long time and really involved in those communities. And then I started freelancing for IGN, and then before I knew it, I started working here. So it's cool.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's that exciting thing where like somebody here could end up working for IGN at some point. Like
Yeah.
it's just kind of that awesome like passing the torch.
And Miranda, now you have your own podcast?
I do. So, yay, anime. Yeah, so anime is super important to me. It's something I grew up watching and didn't have a lot of friends who watched it with me. I had a twin sister. We were really supportive of each other, watched shows and discussed it. And I was like, what if I can bring that to more people. Because I know people probably have the same thing. It's like, I want someone to share this with. I want to talk about it. And so that was kind of something I want to do for IGN Anime Club, is something to share with everybody. So anime for everybody, yeah.
And you have more Pikachus on your desk than anybody else in that office, which is kind of incredible.
Yeah.
Yes. So Leah Jackson, who used to work at IGN, had a ton of Hello Kitties. My goal is to have more Pikachu than that.
Man, I don't
double.
think you're close yet. Like,
No,
you have
okay.
a lot of Pikachu. She had a lot of Hello Kitties.
Yeah, it's a problem, but
Awesome.
yeah.
Cool.
So wait, so we have someone from beyond 200 here who got hired, and someone from 300.
Yeah.
So that means that statistically, a lot of people are waving at me right now.
Yeah.
The next IGN editor is sitting in this room right now.
Yeah. So next year, you guys can tell your story like me and Andrew.
Yay.
Or next year, but in a while.
Awesome.
Yay. Well,
All right.
Thank you guys for
and
having me on.
we promise you we'll be on not in 100 episodes.
Just
you can
let me
be
talk
back.
about Persona again, and I'll be happy.
Perfect.
All right, thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
Cool.
Thank you.
Be on.
Thank you, Miranda.
I urinated.
Congrats.
What's wrong with you? That way we had like a nice moment. You go, I peed in the pool thing with the circle. The hell is wrong with you? We have guests.
Do you guys need anything? James is gonna get me a drink.
Yeah, a beer. Yeah.
I'll do a vodka soda. Thank you very much.
Max?
No roofies.
Yeah, I do a vodka soda too.
Actually, James, whiskey diet.
All right, 2 vodka sodas, a whiskey diet, and a beer. Nah, we're on to the next segment.
I thought you were going to do
Corona,
a soda.
please, James.
We're like, let's have questions for the audience. James, what drinks do you want? We're like, oh, that's a great question. Let's discuss that.
Who would
for a
like
minute.
some bagel bites?
I also,
They're all going to fall from the ceiling at the end of the show. I'm kidding.
I love that James had this great secret plan. He was like, oh, text me. We won't interrupt the show. We'll talk about it. And then he just yells.
I went up there. He's like,
All right, what do you got in there? It's good to eat.
It's a house party, you know?
Yeah.
Forget it.
yeah. I like the term house party so much.
Me too.
I think you
good.
came up with it, Max. That's sort of perfect for what this is.
Kid and Play
up
came
with
up
the
with
I
it.
term
think I
house
asked
party,
the
he came up
bosses
with it
if we
for
could
kids.
throw a house party. And
Yeah. No, I mean, you were the executive producer, you and Dino De Laurentiis of the film House Party.
That's right.
I got 3 laughs, and I appreciate all 3 of those.
I gave you one of them.
And I think over. So we have just continuing with the special guests, we have a video of someone who couldn't be here, but sends his regards. Alexio, are you up there? Are you dead? Everyone give a shout out to Alexio right now.
Alexio!
The secret hero. Also, real talk, Max, your head appears on the screen. you are a John C. Tallman. Alexio, if we could have very loud audio and play what we're about to play. Maybe we'll dim the lights, get some kisses.
Hi, Beyond Nation. I'm sorry I cannot be here with you in person for 400. I was there for 300, and I had amazing experience there. So I wish I were there with you. But I'm totally excited for celebrating another 100 episodes of Beyond and all the other great shows that IGN has. And I hope to be there for 500 whenever it comes. And hope you enjoy.
Woo! What a nice
If
man.
everyone right now can tweet at YoSP
Yep.
and thank him for that with the hashtag IGN House Party, that would be.
He will be at 500. We will be so old.
also, I love that he rain checked us for 2 years from now. He's a busy man.
That's fine.
Yes, what a
He's
good
fine.
guy. I love Shuhei.
I kind of jumped in to take the reins of this podcast very loosely in one hand while I was holding a drink with the other, apparently. And the day that he started following me on Twitter, I officially lost my mind. I think I threw my phone on the counter and ran away from it. There was the calls are coming from inside the house. I'm like, oh crap, this thing is on. People are listening. So
His Twitter is also amazing. He posted a picture from Bubba Gump Shrimp Factory.
I don't know if you guys saw that. He was going to the worst restaurants in LA, and it was so incredible. Yeah, from Bubba Gump. What did you tweeted at him a couple?
I tweeted him a bunch of fake restaurant names he needs to go to. Because Bubblegum Shrimp Company sounds like a fake restaurant name. And I was like, oh, you really got to go to Wet Garbage Man Mountain. And he tweeted me back being like, I will go to Wet Garbage Nun Mountain. And I'm like, how did you make my restaurant grosser? You put wet nuns in it. No, but Shuhei's the opposite of what like I kind of grew up thinking that like kind of Japanese businessmen were. Like he's actually really cool, and like I had a few drinks with him in Japan in the Kill Bill
That's
restaurant.
a very polite way of saying what you usually say about that.
What?
You guys got hammered.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had fun. You know, it was cool.
It's a Japanese businessman.
We ate live shrimp.
business.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's a good man.
How does the live shrimp thing work?
Because they bring it to you and you eat it while it's still moving, and you just get in there because you're in Japan. And what? Come on, you just do it. That's right. You guys took that in a weird direction, but sure, I'll take those cheers.
Yeah, well, Shuhei is like the fact that he listens to this podcast. I mean, the same thing, honestly, with Unlocked is that Phil Spencer listens to Unlocked every week.
Right.
Shuhei listens to Beyond every week, which terrifies me when I say anything. Because every dumb joke I make, I'm like, man, someone who is incredibly smart and talented and educated and has really important decisions to make about the video game industry, like, listens to this dumb thing. And Cisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Which is just, what is happening? What are we doing with our lives?
I'm pretty sure my mom still hasn't found my Twitter, which I'm so stoked on. I'm so happy about that.
James, I'm going to ask you. Everyone
Thanks,
give it up for James Falk there. James, I'm going to ask you one more question. Is there a folding chair somewhere? A fifth folding chair? What?
Conjured from thin air.
All right, that's perfect. So...
Did you get a Corona with a lime? That's awesome.
We have another guest.
Yeah.
We're gonna enter a segment that is about our favorite PlayStation systems of all time, and so we're gonna bring on a man who
Top 5 PlayStations of all time.
He almost came on stage before we yelled at him. We honestly yelled at this man. He is the most positive person at IGN. He is an absolutely incredible human being. He's just a ray of light in the trash heap that is the four of us. Everyone, please give it up for the Reverend Jared Petty.
Woo!
Am I supposed to be out here this time? Honestly, I was talking to Balbert up there, and I thought I'd missed my cue. That's why I came running. I was looking the other way, and they're like looking up at like Jared. I was like, oh crap! And I came running down.
Nice things
That was awesome. You were in the middle of a very good conversation. Apparently, we were sort of talking about you, and then I was like, Jared up there.
Yeah,
and
I probably should have been paying attention to the interesting podcast going on in front of me, but
Yeah.
I think we were having a very important discussion on Amiibo or something. I don't remember.
Brian Albert's an interesting guy. It's okay.
What's that? Yeah, Brian Albert's an interesting dude. Totally. It's got shorts on right now, which is, I mean, those legs are pretty. So it turns out well.
World's #1 PlayStation podcast.
That's right.
Amiibo and shorts. I love it.
Jared,
Anyway, yeah.
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me here. This is energizing. Just to be, it's a wonderful thing to be able to be here among people that make this job not just possible but enriching.
Right.
Working at IGN is by and large something that just pours vibrancy into your heart because you're making fun every day for your job. And these people here are the ones that make that an engaging, wonderful process.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm happy to be here. And also, as much as you guys like to pretend to be jerks, you're all really nice.
Now, Jared, this next segment, we want to talk about just which is our favorite PlayStation machine.
Yeah.
They've made a lot of machines. Sony is an electronics company. Like, that's where they started off with the Sonny Boy rice cooker back in 1949 or something.
That's not
accurate,
a real thing,
yep.
right? The Sony Boy rice cooker?
The Sonny Boy rice cooker.
Is that a real thing?
1949
That is a real thing.
famous Sony
I
rice
don't know about this famous rice cooker. I'm unaware of
So
this.
the first
It
product,
actually got more first-party support than the Vita did.
Yeah, but
no.
but you had to buy these. You had to buy these really expensive proprietary packs of rice extra. That's why. Yeah, that's why it failed.
You got to get a Rice Duo.
Yeah, but
So back to the
Jared,
PlayStation.
Jared, like Jared, one of the reasons of the many that I love you so much is that you carry that retro torch at IGN. You're as close we have to like a video game historian.
Yeah.
And honestly, and that comes from me being, the person who plucked me out of a coffee shop to work in the video game industry is Jeremy Parrish.
Who's an actual video game historian.
He's sort of in a league of his own, but to be perfectly honest, you're the person who reminds me the most of him.
Oh,
which is why I adore coming into work with you every day, and so that's why at that.
I feel real nice.
I already said something nice. But no, that's why.
All right.
Cut the mic. That's.
They're gonna play the Academy music and drag you off.
But no, Jared.
Thanks a lot, Halle Berry. Great having you here. Monsters Ball was cool and all, but get off the stage.
I want to thank my dad.
But no, Jared, that's why we wanted to bring you on. For historical preference of any Sony console, which is your favorite?
With 4 consoles and 2 handhelds to choose from, I'm going to go with the original PlayStation because of the. Yeah, that's the easy pick. There's something to love about all of them, a lot to love about a couple of them. But the PlayStation 1 exists at kind of this perfect nexus of technology and price and the optical medium all coming together at just the right time. The PlayStation actually made video games cheaper. For several technical reasons, it made video games easier to develop.
Yeah.
It took video games out of, frankly, what had been a largely monopolistic situation in development and opened them up to a world of third parties in easier ways. The PlayStation is a very historically important platform. And that's why I think it's probably the greatest. And because it was just cheap enough to fool around on, but just profitable enough to sell things at a reasonable rate, there was all kinds of experimental gaming that took place on it. You probably have the most diverse library, maybe outside of something like the Game Boy, which is of any platform ever, people just trying zany stuff.
Well, the original PlayStation is awesome because it was built out of rebellion. It was kind of like Sony was like, hey, we're going to work with Nintendo. And Nintendo's like, we're impossible to work with. And they're like, screw you guys. We're making our own console. And now they're 4 systems in. And it's
it was like if the Monday Night Wars would have continued.
Yeah, it kind of was. Oh, you look at the thing, and it kind of, it was going to be the, Nintendo PlayStation.
Yep.
But you look at it, and the color scheming with the yellow, red, green, blue that resembles the Super Famicom Nintendo color scheming, and the shape of the controllers, and the look of the console. That sucker bears a lot of resemblance to the Super Famicom.
Yeah,
well, because
if you guys aren't familiar with the history of the original PlayStation, it is legitimately fascinating. If you can fall down that wormhole of Wikipedia entries and articles about the history of it, that's really cool. If you don't have time for that, watch the Mega 64 movie Kudaragi's Way, because that sort of sums it up. Ken Kutaragi was this kind of this rogue agent of Sony who was like, we're making video games. And they were like, we make CD players. And he's like, this is a CD player that plays games. And they were like, we're making you move to Europe with the music people.
And this is at a period of time where, when a PC was really expensive.
Yeah.
And 3D technology was just inaccessibly expensive. It was reserved for the arcades or people that had great computers. And then Sony says, $299, you can have 3D gaming right now.
The PlayStation was actually reverse engineered from those massive things that they would have in news studios, like TV studios that would have the Action News and the CBS logo would fly at the screen and explode into cop cars. Where they're like, keep it locked on KTVU or whatever.
And then
they say keep it locked?
They didn't say that.
Did we steal it from KTVU?
You heard it here first.
we owe them so much money.
And then beyond all the technical and the market history and the rest of that, you have the fact that the thing just has a ridiculous library of games.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of so many important PlayStation developers too. Obviously, tracing back Naughty Dog or any of these developers to what they were doing back then is so incredible to see how far they've come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they've made good stuff ever since. And in terms of technical ability, the PS2 is probably a greater leap forward in terms of what it did innovatively. But the PlayStation is just so important.
Andrew.
Harkening back to my Game of the Year answer, honestly, it's Vita.
The legacy system!
I was talking to Mitch about this earlier. the reason Vita wins for me is because you can play a bunch of PS1 classics on it anyway. But also, I mean, Jared, you were talking about how experimental things were in the PS1 era. Like, Vita, like, granted, like, there aren't very many AAA games, which was kind of the original, like, promise of it. But that said, like, all these indie games that I can play on Vita on the go are incredible. And also, like, honestly, like, I have been playing more remote play from my Vita on PS4 than I have in front of my TV so far this year.
Wow, really?
And I think that, like, it's a really smart system. I think it's very obvious why it hasn't taken off kind of in the era of smartphones, and dedicated handhelds kind of can't do what they could. But to be honest, like, I've probably gotten more in the 2.5 years or whatever with my Vita than I feel like I did with any other PlayStation console.
It also helps that you're currently homeless.
Also true.
Not a joke. Everyone's laughing. He does not have a home.
Literally got rid of my Texas home yesterday and don't have a San Francisco home until next week. So.
Hey, on the plus side, you have that cool shirt with puke on it.
Max.
This is a tough one. I was going to say PS1, but this is kind of a divisive one. I'm fascinated by the PS3.
Me too. That was mine. That was mine too.
So, like, Sony has this long history of proprietary hardware, and I think that they kind of burned themselves really hard with the PS3, but I sort of applaud them for trying that. I had a friend who works at EA explain to me the difference between the Xbox 360 and the PS3 a few years ago. And he was saying that the 360 is like, it's like a classroom full of kind of, C+, B- students. And they all kind of turn in their homework on time and they get it done okay. Meanwhile, the PS3 is like a think tank of like autistic geniuses who all are incredibly good at certain stuff. But then you kind of have to like work with them one-on-one. And it's like, you see the PlayStation 3 exclusives like anything Naughty Dog did, or like whatever. Like the stuff that was exclusive to PS3 is mind-blowingly cool.
Right.
And I almost feel like the reason that we're not seeing any footage of the Uncharted collection remastered is that it's going to be kind of just upscaled. It's not going to look that drastically different because the level of moving parts they have are like, it's like frame rate and resolution, But like the idea of using a cell processor was like, that's ballsy. That's if you actually go back historically, Sony has a really long history of doing proprietary hardware stuff. Like they were the first company, like when the microchip was invented, when the silicon chip was made by Texas Instruments in Texas. Sony was the first company to go to them and be like, hey, it's cool that you make those and all, but can we just pay you for the plans for those and make our own? And then they made the first like transistor radios, and that was in like the 60s. Like that's, I'm sorry to go off on a tangent there, but like
that's the historical importance.
Sometimes it sucks, and we have like memory cards for the Vita, which are a pain in the ass when we could just have SD cards, but. We're seeing a step in the right direction.
Yeah, a lot of the problems with the PS3 were marketing missteps at the beginning, bad price point and saying the wrong things in messaging. But they made those mistakes because they were proud of what they'd done, and they were proud with good reason. That sucker was a ridiculously innovative internal design. Nobody had ever made anything like that before.
Like, if the PS3 wasn't a pretty cool system, why would NASA buy several hundred of them and loop them together to make a server farm?
But if the PS2 wasn't such a cool system, why would Al Qaeda use them all, according to that urban legend?
That's true.
That was an urban legend.
That's a real thing that happened. If you got that news story from here, that's probably a weird afternoon for you.
So hold on, which version did they have? Do we know?
No, let's not. No, hold on.
Because if it was Slims, I can kind of validate. Like that's an easy to carry. You can pack those right up.
All they wanted was Blu-rays.
What? All right, fine. Brian, your turn.
I was going to piggyback on you and say the PS3 because it was a really weird, interesting time for them. They came into the generation on top and cocky, and they got immediately smacked down.
God, that sounds so familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's sort of like they had to kind of take a step back and go, you know what, let's drop the price. Let's work with people more on making cool games. And then they started doing really weird stuff. Like, yeah, we got a bunch of Uncharteds, but we also got like Journey and the Unfinished Swan, and they started reaching out to indie developers.
Swan. It sucks.
They started like talking to the art school kids and not just the jocks, and they were just like, let's do some weird, quirky stuff,
That's a fascinating point, Brian. They're one of the very few real turnaround stories in hardware history. Usually, if you screw up your launch, it's over.
Right.
They found a way to turn it around and create a great legacy for a platform that appeared to be doomed there for a while.
Also, I love that they like you say that they stopped just talking to the jocks and they got the art school kids. They had like launch commercials directed by David Lynch.
Yeah, and they
They're
were
like, yeah,
weird.
what, you want to walk into a white room and there's a baby there and its head turns around? You're like, buy a PS3.
David Lynch is like, you're sitting at the airport and a kid throws up on you. Buy a PS3.
Oh, your life's a David
What
Lynch
about
show.
you, Marty? What's yours?
Jared, I 100% agree with you. The PS1, there's that like renegade attitude of a weird Japanese stuff that came out of it. From,
Right.
Bushido Blade to Parappa to Brave Fencer Musashi. And then there was just the amazing like tent poles, Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 and Metal Gear Solid. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I love? That I could say a proper noun of a team that worked like countless hours on a thing and I get applauded.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best.
I signed a PS4 today. I didn't work on that
Yeah.
thing. That's awesome.
But then, like, everything from Tactics to Tomba to, Tactics to Tomba. To be the name of my memoir.
That's your PAX panel.
That's my PAX. I missed the cutoff. It's the 26th. The PS1 to me is that thing. And it's just historical importance of just drawing a line in the sand and sort of saying, this is our territory now.
Yeah.
To me, it was very cool.
We should. No one said PS2. Like the PS2 is obviously very important.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I love
PS1
that we
is
skipped
obviously
the best-selling system of all time.
of all time. Exactly.
We're like, it was overrated, whatever.
the PS2's place in kind of video game history in general is like impossibly important.
And
like,
a DVD player. I could watch The Matrix on it.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
And why not? I loved my PSP. I did.
Boo this, man!
And I'm going to make a 10-second argument for why it was great. It was sort of the Sega Saturn of handhelds. It got a lot of...
Is that argument for why it's great?
Yes. Because it was, again, perhaps even more than the Vita, especially the last year and a half of its life, it was the only home for some of the weirdest, most wonderful things to come out of Japan. And they still live only there. It gave me Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together. That was enough.
Yeah. My favorite thing about PSP is jailbreaking it and playing Mother 3 translated.
You're a pirate.
Can I get fired for that? All right, I'm not a pirate if Nintendo won't let me do it legally. Jared, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
No,
very
Jared,
much. Thank
you were
so much.
incredible. Jared, we love you.
Hi, Jared.
We're going to see you soon.
Are you taking me?
God, I love that guy.
I like that Jared Petty.
He's a
He's a
really
good
good
guy.
man.
He's just better people than we are.
Yeah,
He's cut from a finer cloth.
all of us combined, not even close.
Yeah. Speaking of cloth.
Ooh.
That worked.
Should we have a seance?
Should we have a seance?
I think we should all hold hands and just have a seance.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Can I touch your hand?
I mean, there's
End up
a...
being weirdly prescient.
I bet your hand smells like the back of a cab.
I bet your back of a cab smells like your face.
I don't know what that means. Where I was trying to get to is that when we took this show over half a year ago,
Yeah.
6 months ago,
5, 6 months.
8 years ago, I think.
Pretty
sure that
it's
was
hard to
right.
believe.
Hard to
I mean,
believe.
honestly, we're a couple days after the 8th anniversary of the first episode of Podcast Beyond, which is insane. And we had a new friend on our show whose name was the News Ghost. And he invaded every once in a while and did weird, spooky things. And he wore a hat with a thing in it.
Well, you could never see him because he was ethereal or something.
Also because he was like a broken joke that we just continued for a little too long.
I think you made a vowel for too long, and I was like, that sounded like a ghost, Marty. And then suddenly somebody made a soundboard. Like what? Didn't make a noise.
I'll be honest,
It's very quiet, but
it can work on his projection. But we're
projection. I like that.
I know, right? We're very excited to bring down the News Ghost, and maybe we can unmask him. Everyone, give it up for the News Ghost.
News Ghost.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, it's the News Ghost.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever been a part of, and I love it.
Is that
It
your
was
E3
Greg
badge?
Miller the whole time.
Why is my
I'm
name
very
on that?
proud to be the most controversial segment of this show.
God damn it,
So many tweets. We love News Ghost. We hate News Ghost. What does it mean?
Greg, for God's sake, we unmasked a Halloween costume and you didn't drop you meddling kids. You had one line. Come
You
on.
were meddling kids. I knew it was you all along.
That was definitely the most
Why are you-
Scooby-Doo
I just
thing
poured
we've ever
water
done.
on my hand. You
Oh, I
missed
missed
it. I
that.
did this great thing where I did this because my hair got all mussed up when I did the News Ghost. That was weird. Like, that wasn't my hair. You were just rubbing my face.
Getting the water off your face.
So, Greg, I felt really bad because you were back there. There we go.
Nothing's changed. Can't do this on Twitch. Nice to be here.
If you needed proof that he's a news ghost, that is the whitest thing in the room. I felt these guys are workshopping these like puns about ghosts, and you're back there under a sheet. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Get
When they
out
brought
here."
this out, I was like, oh, don't fucking ruin this for me. Come on, man.
Marty, put this
Shout out to this couple right here, because I kept staring at the, stand up, lady. I kept staring at this lady, and then every time she'd nudge her boyfriend that she saw the News Ghost, I'd hide. Commitment to the bit, Marty.
I know, that's
Commitment to
incredible.
the bit.
That's incredible. I have so much
She's like,
to
am
learn
I
from you."
imagining a News Ghost up there?
This is an awful hat. I'm also.
Oh my! You look like the most German dude I've ever seen.
There's a
My
guy
head is
later.
so
no,
big,
no,
dude.
no.
He's
no,
okay.
wrong,
Okay.
Yeah. I know
There
she
you go,
has a
complete
thing
the
for
outfit.
hyperbole, but
Yeah!
No,
Whoa! Whoa! Party foul!
that is exactly what you'd expect a guy in Lederhosen to do. You throw a hat at a beer
Classic
and knock
shot
it
in
over.
front.
That German doesn't respect Mexican beer for 1 ounce.
Greg, it's really nice to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is sort of your baby.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you were doing this for 8 fucking years.
If you can give me 1 second, it's been a while.
Get ready.
Beyond! Beyond! Right there. Right there.
That was good. Like,
Yeah,
on the
no,
mic.
the other day when you guys were tweeting about the 8th anniversary, the fan tweeted us because I'm sure, I don't know about you, I had no idea it was the 8th anniversary. And I was like, oh man, which is why it's so crazy to think about, not that I'm taking anything away from this one, when you guys get in 2 years to 500 and it's your 10-year anniversary, holy fuck.
Wow.
Also,
That's also no pressure. Jeez.
No. I mean, I ran the show for 8 years. I assume you guys will be around
So,
that
hold
long
on,
as
hold
well.
Greg, can we talk about this? Like you did this for almost 8 years. You know, like that's a chunk of a life. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
What were you doing? What was it like when you started Beyond? How did that come about?
I was so vehemently against the beginning of Podcast Beyond. Jeremy Dunham's like, every channel is going to have a podcast, and I'll never forget looking at him and going, we don't need that, Dunham. We have Game Scoop. Woo! Scoop! Why break our audience into parts? No one will listen to this. And I said, in 12 episodes, we'll be done.
Shout
And
out to
those
Damon
12
Hatfield
came
and
and
Game
went.
Scoop.
A few more dozen came and went.
Right? Well, you're here now.
It's amazing.
But people still yell Beyond at you, right? Like that's the thing that's going to happen forever.
Of course. Well, yeah, I mean, like,
Is that
it's
your-
been 6 months, Brian. People still call my mom Mrs. Miller, and they've been divorced forever.
Wow, the second divorce.
Beyond.
James Faulkner, where's the beer I ordered? God damn it.
Yeah, I had a vodka soda.
No, I mean, that's the big thing. I was talking
Just
about
bring
it.
us a lot of booze.
Sean Finnegan's working on a video. There he is. Come here, James. I'm going to kiss you.
Hey, by the way, oh man,
Hashtag love wins.
that's right. Shout
Now,
out to
everyone do
marriage
me
equality.
a solid. Everyone do me a solid. Do not tweet at Steimer about that. She gets so mad when I kiss other people.
Was she mad when we kissed at PAX the other year?
Yup. Because it says something about your boyfriend when you have to have the conversation, please stop kissing other dudes.
Yeah. A little bit.
I'm like, I don't mind you kissing other girls.
That's a
She
solid
goes,
point.
I don't care.
Side note: how do we made a really German guy and 2 beers appear just by summoning them in the last 30? Did you bring
Still not
the
back
news
to
ghost
vodka
brings
soda.
magical powers with him?
I mean, James is amazing. Backstage, James is like, do you need a beer? I'm like, yeah, he comes back
Yeah.
with a beer.
Yeah.
Round of applause for James.
I mean, that's, as a whole, that's sort of the, like, IGN is home to dozens of unsung heroes, like the people who are able to make the dumbest things we do in front of a camera actually work.
Yeah.
The entire job and the entire site is incredibly weird. And you talked about this a second ago, and it's what I told people at E3, right? It's like I'd meet developers and I'd be like, I'm so thankful for you because I am just some kind of fucking leech hanging on the side of you.
Yeah, you're a
without
barnacle.
me. And it's like I get all the praise. Oh, you were funny in that video where you took your shirt off and da-da-da. And it's like I have all these Twitter followers, and then this guy who makes God of War happen, who makes God of War be a thing, is just like, cool. I made this game, don't worry about me. Like, they're the unsung heroes. James, unsung hero as well.
Yeah.
Developers, big unsung hero. Except for Neil Druckmann. Too much credit. Kidding, Neil. I love you, Neil. But anyways, back to the story.
That's right.
Yeah. People yell beyond at me still.
So, 8 years
I
ago.
want that for the rest of my life.
I'm curious.
I always go back to beyond. Round of applause. Don't raise your hand. Nick isn't here to tell you otherwise. Round of applause if you were at Beyond 300. Like, I always tell the story that, Beyond 200 happened so fast that I didn't realize it was a big deal until after the fact, until I met Yair Donan there, and I said, where are you from? And he's like, oh, Israel. And I'm like, oh, man, well, like, what all are you doing here? And he's like, this. And I was like, oh, no. I'm so sorry. And then at the end, when it all ended, our good friend Devin was crying over the Panda Musk video. And I was like, why are you crying? I'm so happy. And I was like, awesome. I don't know how to but 300, I cried the week leading up to it. And I got interviewed leading up to it, and this guy for the blog, are you here? Give yourself a round of applause if you did your IGN blog about Beyond 300. And asked me, he's like, is there a podcast Beyond without Greg Miller? And I said, I hope so, and then broke down in tears. Because, like, that's what this is. It was never that it was mine. You know what I mean? I started as just getting to be the funny guy. I got to be loud and obnoxious. And then when Roper left, I had to take over and lead us. And then I led us for a really long time. And then I left, but I always in my head was like, I hope this goes on forever. I hope that at Beyond 1,000, I'm invited to come hang out.
I mean, we talk about this too. That I hope someone in this room is hosting this show someday. And we're
100%.
We're old, and it's not us. We're gone. Like we're not dead. We're.
That was really. Well, one of us is gonna be dead. Let's be honest.
I was gonna say Marty will for sure be dead.
Yeah.
Whether it's by dog or bottle, Marty will be dead.
Or a little bit of both.
That'd be awesome if it'd be on 500. It's like, for all the hosts we've lost.
It's just me.
It's just Marty.
It's just different photos of you.
Will you remember me?
This is dark, but if
then
the
it's
body's
Patillo.
fresh, we can do a Weekend at Bernie's thing with you. We're like,
I mean, honestly,
hey,
I'll put that in
glue
my
a
will.
bottle to your hand.
We just glue some Brillo pads on here. This is good.
We are rapidly closing the window where people get Weekend at Bernie's references.
Michael, do you get Weekend at Bernie's references? That's because you.
Greg Atlas gets it, of course.
Yeah. Greg
How you doing,
Atlas,
Greg?
of course.
Congratulations on getting recognized a bunch here. Round of applause for Greg Atlas. The only man to fart next to David Jaffe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's absolutely not true. I'm sure I've crop dusted Jaffe once or twice.
It's E3. I mean, come on.
We crop dusted him on our podcast.
It's true.
What?
Right.
What?
No, we just talked about God of War in a not so
He got
positive.
really mad. I mean, you don't fart out of hatred. You just kind of do it.
It just happens. It's natural.
I think Mickey Mania is an awesome game.
I've been farting this entire time. I'm powered by farts.
I know, that's incredible. Max, I feel like 90% of the time we're on the same page, that every once in a while I take my glasses off to just remove myself from whatever you're saying.
You know we can still see you when you do that, though.
If I can't see you, you can't see me. It's like dinosaurs.
Nobody watched that show.
I don't think that's how dinosaurs work.
I was real drunk during Jurassic World, so I'm not sure how dinosaurs work.
One big fan for drunkenness or Jurassic World.
I think that was Zach Ryan. I think that was legitimately Zach Ryan who whistled.
Goldfarb, have we talked about how weird it is that you're back?
Yeah, it's good being back.
Yeah?
It's I took a short break.
Yeah. I kept telling people, it's like, I don't know if you know this about me, I hide it pretty well. I'm a big comic book fan. I always talk about, it's like they're really committed to the new 52, and they're like, oh, nobody liked that, we'll retcon it. You got retconned. You got and it's just like when I got divorced, I got retconned. We're like, everybody hates the wife, but they love the dog. So give them the dog, take away the wife, blink it out of existence.
If you're counting divorce references at home, that is 3 now. Podcast Beyond, the #1 divorce podcast. I'm newly married. I should not be saying that. Honey, I'm sorry.
Wow, yeah. Teresa's literally
My wife is here.
away.
The question is, are you still keeping the hypothetical abortions going?
They'll be back.
Because all you need is one, and you're the #1 hypothetical abortion podcast. We found out. This is a deep cut for Podcast Beyond fans.
Yeah.
Real quick, IGN management. Sorry you didn't listen to the first 150 episodes. But I'm on the Scott Lowe plan. I'll be back in a year and a half.
Oh God, is that my plan now?
You are that plan too.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's exciting being back, right? Because the Beyond community is incredible. Like, there's an ambulance driver who yelled Beyond at me and Marty, and we've
That's
been
the scariest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. We've been walking.
The other
through
guy's
Golden-
like, keep compressions. What are you doing?
We've walked through Golden Gate Park and had strangers scream it from passing cars. Like, it becomes this really exciting, especially at events like PAX or like at any show. It's like the Sony press conference usually begins with someone in the crowd yelling Beyond. Like, it's a huge community that transcends just the people on it.
That's the thing people still talk to me about, like at E3 this year, because it's always that weird thing of like, we do so much on day to day. I see this beautiful bastard all the time. You forget that you haven't seen people from the industry since PlayStation Experience was a lot, right? And so people are coming up to me at E3 and going like, it was so weird when you had a receiving line at PlayStation X's Experience, you know, the conference part of it. Because what happened is I came in, and well, first off, Colin always makes fun of me. And first off, Colin, Nick, Tim, all very sad they can't be here. They just hate IGN. No. They all just have other engagements and stupid girlfriends and wives and birthdays. Get out of here, Tim, with your birthday.
What was
Is it Tim's birthday?
Tim's birthday's on Tuesday.
Oh.
Everyone come to
Couldn't make it on a
Twitch.tv.
Saturday.
No, it's because here's the world we live in now, Marty, where it's like, oh, it's my birthday on Tuesday. Rather than spend it with my loved ones, I'll go to twitch.tv/kindafunnygames and do an all-afternoon stream for no reason. And his girlfriend's like, well, I'll fit you in on Saturday. You think, I remember, oh my God, when I always tell Tal, whenever I see Tal up there, his beautiful face, I'm like, if you would have told us how much work this was, we would have never left. I expected naps and video games, and none of that is happening. I'm getting grayer.
We can tell.
Thank you, Tal. I love you, Tal. Round of applause for Tal, everybody.
Yeah. Woo! Also, Tal, you can really project incredibly well. I'm stunned how well I can
to
hear
yell
him.
from down here. People think to yell from here, you
They
yell
call
from
him
your
the
diaphragm.
The great diaphragm of North Carolina. Is that right, Tal?
God damn it, Tal!
All right, the gloves are fucking off. We can say whatever we want.
When Tal says abortions,
We learned
you
it
know
from
it's
you,
on.
Tal.
No. Beyond fans are awesome. I totally understand what you're saying. And it's like with that thing of like, people always talk about, you know, the reach we have and how lucky we are to have this. And we speak to I always run into people. I'll never forget this one story. I'm out in Chicago drinking with Poe. You know Poe. Mm-hmm. One guy knows Poe as well.
Shout out to Pubs.
Poe took us out to a bar with two girls that he knew from college or whatever that were there drinking. And they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm this video game guy. And and I did the whole thing of like, to a very small group of people, we're a very big deal. And they're like, okay, whatever.
I've been running with that line for years, ever since you told me that. Too.
Right.
So it's really hard to explain to people, right?
Exactly. So they said that, like, okay, so we're at the bar, we're hanging out. They come by, I give him my credit card. The guy comes back, and he hands me the credit card, and I tug it away, and he won't let go. And I look up, and he goes, you're the Greg Miller. And I go, yeah? And he turns to his bar friend, he's like, I told you! And they came over and took photos and had me call their friend and da-da-da. And at the end, let me tell you, those girls liked me quite a bit. But that's what it's all about, is the fact that it doesn't matter. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're the #1 PlayStation podcast on the internet. Everyone downloads this thing. It doesn't matter how big those numbers are,
right?
Because the numbers you have are motivated enough to bust their ass to get to San Francisco to hang out with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Thank you for that.
No, I was saying this. It's kind of got this Fight Club thing going for it, you know. Like there's this. It's sort of this weird secret nod and a wink to people, you know. Like I'm guessing a lot of you guys have jobs, and maybe not everybody you work with is a big fan of the show. You know, like you work with people who are. I don't know what normal people are into. Like what do you do if you don't play
horses, cereal.
Oh, and then American Idol.
No, that's just your.
And cereal, the breakfast food.
Horses and what?
Cereal, the podcast. It was about
Yeah.
a boy named Adnan who may or may not have
That was
killed
like a
his
year ago.
girlfriend.
This Ira Glass acting like he invented podcasts.
No, but you're right. Like this is kind of what's happened with video games a lot in the last few years, where it's gone away from being that kind of Fight Club thing and sort of become more like we can talk about this. We can wear shirts. We can go to a bar and have a conversation about a video game.
Yeah.
Without people being like loser.
It's weird, right? Like I remember seeing someone in a video game shirt and thinking, "Oh, that's like weird." Like
Yeah.
even in college, and now it's like you can go basically anywhere, and someone's walking around in, like an N7 shirt, or like
Yeah.
like you can go to any mall and like go to a Hot Topic, and they're selling shirts for like indie games, and it's weird. It's good. It's
They're not selling them Amiibo shirts, though, are they?
No, they're not.
You can't find them.
All right, we made 3 larges, 1 small, 0 XL.
All 3 are Radio Shack Japan exclusive. Shout out to Nintendo
Sorry
Voice
to bore
Chat.
you, Marty. Sorry to bore you.
Listen, I am literally texting with people who are running the show. I'm sorry that one person has to be
Are you just asking for alcohol?
No, a little bit. No, I'm the sober designated driver.
You're the sober designated driver.
Thank God for that.
Can we talk about Batman real quick?
Can we talk about Batman?
Is that breaking the run of show?
Oh my God! All I want to do is talk about
Hey,
Batman.
James, can I have another beer?
James, if you're getting another beer, get me another beer too.
James, just to get
James,
everyone.
can you get
can
a
I get
bucket and pour beer into
Hey,
it?
No,
can Max get a vodka soda?
Yeah, dude.
Me too.
Come on.
So,
James, you're the worst waiter.
so Greg, you and I.
Finish your first one. Eat your
It
vegetables.
tastes weird. I think it's got metal in it.
Metal?
If you're trying to kill me, it's working. So, Greg, you and I are playing Batman probably more than anybody else at the table. I mean, a bunch of other people played it at preview events.
Marty and I
stuff like
played
that.
it last night.
Go to hell.
Wow.
No one tell Steimer. No one tell Steimer. It's weird to spit so much when you talk and see it in the lights. I'm disgusting.
It's weird. It's weird.
How is Colin hung with me for 8 years?
Triple H of IGN.
Hey, Brian, how about Batman?
Yeah.
Also, I'm glad you got kissed.
God.
Brian.
I've seen you kiss a lot of people, and I don't think I've ever seen you kiss your girlfriend. I've seen you kiss your dog.
If
Does
your
your dog
dog, this
pee
is
on the
like
couch when you kiss it? Like
no.
your dog. I've seen your dog pee like about as many
Pees
times
a
as I've
lot.
seen your dog.
Yeah, he pees about 9 times out of 10.
So like,
Like
that's
he's
the
like
thing.
a fucking Metal Gear Solid guard. Like you
Last
walk in,
night,
the exclamation point is yellow and it goes down.
Colin isn't here because his girlfriend's in town visiting. They're back to this long distance thing.
Right.
Last night she came back and she, moved out 2 months ago to go live long distance. She came back and did the mistake of, oh hey Portillo, and he peed all over the place.
Yeah.
So in true Colin Moriarty fashion, she's like, Portillo, what the fuck? She lived here. And it's like, that doesn't matter to this dog. If you're not there on a daily basis, that's when we know we hit the stride with kind of funny. When he stopped peeing over Kevin, we're like, oh, well, now you're part of
Right,
the family.
you're
We
in.
can't stop
You're
you.
in.
Yeah.
I never got that at IGN. I was pissing myself all the time.
James, fuck you!
James, we love you.
That was the first time I made out on camera.
Now, Christine, if you're watching the VOD, we didn't make out. We kissed for sure, and there was a spark for sure, and Grayson Frankie has risen a lot of questions in my mind
Greg,
about the relationship.
I love you, but you're crazy if you think your girlfriend still watches your videos. You make 1,000 of them a day.
My favorite was this week when we were playing Batman.
Yeah.
For
Oh yeah, that thing we were
Batman,
talking
we got
about.
it!
Batman!
We got back!
I'm bringing it back
A
around,
video
and it
game.
ties into what you're talking about. I was playing it on night 1, and I wore the Adam West Batman costume, and so then we didn't acknowledge it. This was the plan all along. At 11 o'clock, Christine came in because she's going to bed. She came in dressed as Batgirl, kissed me on camera, then left, and we never acknowledged it. I kissed Batgirl. I wonder who she is.
Did you just high five that? That's
Did you keep the cameras rolling all night afterwards?
Whenever we're in a lot of trouble with Kinda Funny, there's a switch I throw called Kinda Porn, and then it all rolls out.
Kind of horny.
You guys are on the
A
same
lot of Nick Scarpino trying to eat a banana.
page. I'd watch that. He's handsome.
We are way off track.
Batman, Brian, what do you think of Batman?
So I'm really, really trying to love it.
Uh-oh.
But I'm having problems with the fact that they are shoehorning that tank into literally every single part of it.
Stop doing that to the microphone, Greg.
I love that you were like, oh God, am I going to fight a man? What is about to happen?
So many of these people on Twitter, I'm like, the tank sucks.
Right.
And they're like, no, change the controls, do this. And I'm like, no, it's not that the control's bad, it's boring as, can we curse? We've been cursing a lot.
We've been doing it,
It's
whatever.
boring as shit. Like, it doesn't feel like Batman. I don't want to play a third-person tank shooter.
So my problem with it is not so much the controls, but the amount of times they go like, you know what you should do? You should use the tank. Like Lucius calls you and he's like, hey, I left you a sandwich. It's in your tank. And you're like, I don't want to go in there. And he's like, well, otherwise you're going to starve to death. And he's like, I don't want to go in the tank.
I love that because it's like the opposite of the Nolan movies, where like Morgan Freeman's like, for the love of God, please stop driving that on roofs.
You're destroying the city you're protecting.
Yeah. Every time you take a power slide,
a guy tried to blackmail me. Please stop driving that thing everywhere. They know it's you.
That's the thing is like, yeah, like I like driving around the city in it. I like ejecting out of it. I love the missions where I'm slamming cars off the road. But as soon as they're like, once again, climb into the tank and shoot 30 drones, you're like, shut up. They're like, how far are you?
About halfway through the game.
Okay, I won't spoil it for you.
Yeah.
Or the 450
The
people in
tank
the audience.
dies.
But no, what if
The tank gets tank leukemia and they have to put it to sleep. It's very sad. They bury it with a piece of jewelry that Batman had the whole time.
Batman, we didn't want to tell you, but the fire shooting out of its ass is not by design. No, my favorite boss from any of the Arkham games comes back.
Right.
And he's known for hand-to-hand combat. It's awesome. And you're building up. And last night I completed all the challenges to fight him. And he's like, oh, I'm going to kill you next time I see you, Batman. And Batman's like, now, go to whatever, Grove Street or whatever the hell it is.
Right.
Not really Grove Street. Go there and we'll do this. He drives out of the aisle and he goes, Alfred, pull up the bridges. He's not getting out alive. Or he's not getting out. He doesn't say alive. He's not getting out. And Alfred's like, yes, sir, no problem. And then Alfred does it. He goes, but beware, sir, his tank can stay in 300. I'm like, oh! Why? Let me fight him. What are you doing?
And the Riddler is like, I have a series of puzzles for you. If you like cars,
That's what we were doing.
leave me alone.
Last night we did the races.
I've discovered Trackmania. Will you solve my Trackmania puzzles?
Yeah, it was really weird that like how much work went into the Riddler creating
Right?
Yes, the ramps.
Well, Batman, you're smart enough to solve word problems and find trophies, so I built 7 tracks underground.
Right?
What the hell are you doing, Riddler?
Yeah, I love like you live in a major city and it takes 6 years for them to like fix a bridge, but the Riddler under everyone's noses is like, hey, I'm building a 60-foot tall tower that shoots a ramp into a question mark. No one's gonna notice it.
He understands TaskRabbit.
But the other thing that I'm kind of irked about, and I don't want to just stress the negative. Wow, what's going on there? You got a big tall.
I'm very excited to be on this show.
Make a wish.
You got a little pre-foam.
Why do I feel like we're gonna start talking to after
Why
this?
not?
So guys, great show, good turnout.
Great show. It's been good.
Let's talk about the content.
There's gonna be a lot of meetings about this one. No, so the other thing that's kind of irking me about the game is that it never leaves you alone. It is constantly talking to you. Constantly. Like you're never just like, you have those moments in the comic books where Batman's just kind of like looking at the city.
In his own head, yeah.
And it's quiet and it's
Well, he's
beautiful.
always talking over it. He's like, my dad died one time, and also leaves are scary, but the bat flew in the window, and the guns are the coward's weapon, and the following. I mean, it's Frank Miller's Twitter.
My parents went to see Grown Ups 2, and they were killed shortly after. And I have a lot of problems with that film.
I was gonna say, I'm only mad at Adam Sandler in this situation, not the murderer whatsoever. Clearly, Kevin James's part was meant for Chris Farley. Stop trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
The murder disturbs me, but why would you make a sequel to Grown Ups? Swear to me.
That was the laziest swear to me ever.
He's sad. His parents died, and they made a sequel to Grown Ups. No, but you can't do anything in that game without them being like, hey, you're getting a text from Alfred, and then Lucius, and then Oracle for a little while. And then there's constantly like, there's 18 CB radios in your head where they're like, we gotta go find the bat and give him a big punch in the ball zone.
See, that actually makes perfect sense because like I'm like 18 CB radios in the head. That sounds like what it's probably like to be crazy. And then I'm like, oh wait, Batman is crazy.
18 CB
Like,
radios
it's
in the
out of
head
his
sounds like
mind.
a Smashing Pumpkins song.
I'm on a Mexican radio. No, like I love that. Like Batman is just he is jacked in all this stuff, but it's like that. There is that kind of notification like itch scratching where it's like, oh, why would you look at a landscape when you've got all these different things to check up on? Like you got to clear your Twitter feed. Somebody's messaging you on Slack. Do you even have that installed? You got to download Slack.
You have a new follower on Instagram. He's like, oh, leave me alone.
I don't know what these notifications mean. Did somebody tag me in a photo, or is that a comment? What is that?
I gotta stop Grown Ups 3.
Can we just get like a Batman mobile game?
Adam
where it's
Sandler
just-
must be stopped.
It's just Batman's phone, but it's like, what is Batman's social media feed like? Where he's got like notifications, he's got Google Alerts set up, and it's like all these. It's like a Huffington Post article. It's like, can the Batman be stopped? And he's like,
Or-
I'm gonna get in the comments.
It'd be the
and
opposite, where he's
regulate.
like posting Batman pictures to Bruce Wayne's Instagram, where it's just like hot model, a beach party, and then all of a sudden beating the shit out of the Joker. He's like, oh, no, delete real quick, and be like,
Oh,
wow,
the
posting
intern
that.
screwed up and posted the Batcave by accident.
Also,
Shit.
I have nothing wrong with the name Barbara. I have no problem with that. If there's anyone here,
You're on mighty thin ice right now.
but it's really funny when he's like, I've got to find Barbara, and he's scrubbing through footage, and he's like, Barbara's not there. Let me look at the next tape to see if I can find Barbara.
So it's seriously, that's messed up because Batman has become an impression of my best friend's dad when we were kids. Don't eat the chemicals on the lawn; they're very expensive. Barbara and I are going to the garden center. We have to buy.
If you pee in the
geraniums.
pool, it'll turn colors, and we can tell.
Yeah.
All right.
So before we we're gonna go into a Q&A thing, but before we do that, you guys get to ask us dirty personal questions. So
Wait.
yeah, yes.
Well,
Wait. Marty's got
but-
something to say. Marty's got something to say.
But wait.
But first, we want to have some people come out and get a special thanks. So
Yeah. Very first, we've mentioned her countless times tonight, and by countless I mean I think twice.
Yeah.
Please, Kirsten Slater, please come down. The only reason any of this is happening is because of you. I told you should have came from upstairs. It probably would have been easier.
And then, of course, there's Sean Missed His Cue Sullivan, also coming along.
AKA Sully, AKA Nate No.
Nate, no!
Nate, no!
Nate, no! And Sully, do you just want us to just bring down a whole bunch of people from upstairs?
Yeah.
Everyone who's upstairs, everyone's upstairs.
Yeah, let's
that
collapse
side,
the
yeah.
stage.
Just a lot of people come down right now. Everyone who's responsible for this. Everyone from IGN, come down.
I'm looking at Brian Albert. He isn't moving. There he goes.
No.
Brian Albert is unmoored. Ryan McCaffrey.
Brian Albert is banned. Just no Brian Albert.
Destin Legary. We got Mitch Dyer, James Faulkner,
Jandleton Legworth,
Brian Albert,
Milky Boy,
Pear
Thistleton,
Schneider,
Beatrix Potter,
Even Fran. Even Fran.
Sean
Flo Rida
Finnegan,
himself.
Fran Mirabella, who's a chimpanzee right now,
What the hell was that? Zach Ryan.
Zach Ryan,
Ryan.
Jan Sport Basketball.
Yep.
Zach Ryan, who looks like
Brian
Max Scoville if
Malkowitz.
he grew a beard.
Where's Brian Malkowitz?
Brendan Graber,
There's light
Alana
shooting
Yee,
around.
Neighbors right here.
Mike Oransky. Oh
I
my
think
God.
Alexio
Steve
is literally
Bucks.
still working right there, probably. But Alexio, you're a hero.
Alexio's here in spirit.
Where's Solomia?
This is just a small fraction of the people that it takes to make something like this and to create IGN every day. But obviously, we can't do this without you. So the biggest round of applause goes to everyone in the audience right now. Thank you so much.
On that note,
Hey, hold on. Wait. 1 sec. I just want to say is Pear and I, as being part of IGN for almost 2 decades now. Thank you. When we were talking about, I'm sorry, and I'm Tal, and this is Pear.
I'm Pear. Founding fathers of IGN.
Founding fathers.
When we sat down and we kind of talked about what IGN was 20 years ago, I mean, we're really dating ourselves. But this is exactly what we wanted to see. You know, we were a bunch of like-minded people sitting on couches together, playing games and talking about those games. And it's great to see you guys as passionate as we were 2 decades ago about what we do. So thank you guys so much. It's humbling. You've energized us. Thank you so much for being fans of IGN. Pear, do you want to say a few things? Pear is good. He's a soft-spoken man. But thank you all so very much, because you really are family.
Beyond!